Oh shit. Here we go again.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of Outbreak Gamers. I'm your host, WEBDAVE, David Anthony. Yes, the big fat guy in the chair. Shame. Anyway, so, but man, I'm so excited. We have a very special guest who's actually been on our other show before he's even on this one. So it was pretty awesome. And we welcome out the Black Viking. Sir, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Super pumped to be here, for real.
Good deal. Good. Well, this gives a chance for people to find out more about you, find out what you're about, what your history's been, and then also we'll talk about your new show and how amazing it is and how it's catching fire and how everybody needs to like and subscribe that.
Oh,
Make that
thanks,
part of
man.
the rotation.
For
No,
sure, man.
it's good. It's good. So Viking, let's start things off. I kind of throw this at everybody just to kind of icebreaker, I guess it is. But like, what was your first job
Ooh.
that you ever did?
First job, man, I was 16, playing basketball, and I decided to get a job at a call center called APAC. I was one of the sleazy guys that try to get you a credit card for 21% APR. So, yeah, so did that. God, I think for about a year, man. That was a crazy experience. Like all my friends worked there already. Um, and it was mostly like the black community that worked there. So if you guys want to see black people code switch like no other. Oh my God. I mean, we'd be talking all kinds of cash shit before we got on a call with somebody, blah, 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 razzle dazzle. And then as soon as, we heard hello on the phone, it's like, hello, my name is such and such. I'm calling on behalf of Discovery Credit Card and would like to offer you a $5,000 credit card. Oh my God. It was the most hilarious thing ever.
Oh
Yeah, but
man,
that was
I could imagine.
yeah, so I mean, I've always been like, and then after that, like I got into sales for free a jewelry store within our mall called Freedman's Jewelers,
Hmm.
and that was actually a really good gig. Like that one was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I tell
So
you,
yeah,
a lot of the ladies like it when you
yeah,
jewelry
yeah,
discount. Yeah, my man.
yep. Always came up with a nice little sharp suit and all that, and
Oh yeah.
working in the mall was super cool because you give like your friends that worked in the mall a discount, and then
Hmm.
you get free food galore within the mall, discount at Foot Locker or Dillard's, or it was a
Yeah,
cool gig, man. It was pretty
definitely.
dope.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So, I mean, was it just sales, or did you have to do any of the other stuff? I mean, did you like learn any of the? I guess like some not to say jewelers, but I mean, as far as like being able to tell like the difference between certain types of
Oh
gems and things like
yes,
that just by
yeah, yeah,
looking at it.
yeah, yeah. We got trained pretty well, and
Cool.
we worked with a lot of like mom and pop jewelry stores that helped fix, that we had contracts with to fix other people's jewelry. So yeah, we got to dabble into different kinds of diamonds, how they're made, VVS's, like the different cuts, the different ratings on diamonds. So yeah, it was a pretty cool experience to say the least, like to be able to learn all that stuff.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, and then like to see, I mean, I had, man, I was what, 18, 19 when I worked there. Um, I even like got enough jewelry to have like some gold melted down and had a grill and all that. So it's it was pretty cool, yeah, man.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
That's
Speaking
cool.
of that,
That's
I think
cool.
I'm going to get another grill probably next year, sometime. So wanted to this year, but had Christmas coming up for all the kids, so
Yeah.
I'll probably do it again.
That'd
I
be
you
cool
know
though, man.
I miss my grill, man.
There you go. There you go. Well, and family first. Kudos to you on
Oh
that one
yeah, for
too.
sure.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome. But no, but like I said, if if you can do a little something for yourself, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that
yeah.
at all.
100%. Yeah,
Very cool.
indeed.
So let's turn the conversation. Normally, I turn it right into like gaming, but we got to talk about your name is your gamer tag. The Black Viking? What is that? Where'd that come from?
All right, so
Mm,
about 4 years ago, I got a job to work at a NATO installation in Norway.
wow, cool.
So I was a they call it a services director, but I'm more like a community manager. I was more of a community manager out there. And the Norwegians are like, first of all, I was enamored with Scandinavian culture since I was a kid, right? Um, so I knew when that job popped up, and I qualified for it. I was like, I'm going to go for this. Like, my family was mad excited to go to Norway. Um, and like immersing yourself with the Norwegians, like while you're out there, is like no other, man. Like it is crazy. So like, I got the nickname from them. I'm a 6'2", 250, like pretty big guy with a beard or whatever, and that's the name that they came up for me. So everywhere I went out there, it was Black Viking.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
So
it was
yeah,
cool, man.
it's cool, man. Yeah, and with the I guess the AI technology and stuff now, I notice you
Yeah.
have a lot of cool different memes and different different things you post um
Yeah.
with different levels of the Black Viking. I'm gonna put this up again over everybody if they didn't see it. So
Oh, the
that one,
baby. Yeah. The
dude, that
baby.
rocks, man. That just absolutely rocks. I love that, man.
Oh man, yeah, it's cool, man. I mean, it kind of symbolizes what I'm about on Twitter, man. I'm front lines of the console war. Some people
Hmm.
hate it, but I love it. I have a cool story, not a cool story about how I kind of got into it. I didn't start doing gaming Twitter probably until June of this
Hmm.
year. I discovered guys like you, Gaz, Peter, J Dub, J Rock, like and stuff like that. And I was like, holy, because I was part of like a lurker on like political Twitter, right? And you know that can be a cesspool, right?
Yeah.
So I saw the same shit kind of going on with gaming Twitter. And I was like, yo, like some of the like the PlayStation guys, like some of the big names, man, like are so delusional to me. So I was like, I have to get in on this. So yeah, I started with like maybe 50 followers in June, and then I think I just cracked 3,000 a day. So
Congratulations.
that's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, I like doing it. I don't take it too seriously, man. Like I like I guess defending my preferred platform. I have everything. I have a PlayStation, Nintendo, PC, everything because I'm a gamer,
Same.
right? But the slander that gets thrown around, man, by not only the other side but also the media is just ridiculous. So I had to jump in and get on the front lines. So that's what that PFP kind of symbolizes.
That's really cool. That's
Yeah,
really cool. I like it. And like I said, just you got a bunch of different ones. So that's what I like it too. That
yeah,
you take the you know the actual symbolism, I guess, and then you're able to to incorporate that into different phases and memes and stuff, and that keeps it fresh too, man. And
it
that's
does. Yeah,
important. So
yeah, for
that's
sure,
cool. But
man.
when I saw the baby, man, I was like, I gotta use that.
Yeah, man, that one's cool, man. Yeah, I have quite a few of them, man. Like AI art is like really cool. A lot of people like dump down on it, but like you actually have to be kind of good at the prompt engineering
Right.
on that in order to get it right, and then take it to Canva and engineer it some more. So like,
Hmm.
yeah, I really enjoy the hell out of using it.
Yeah, well, it's like that. You utilize it well, and I think
Yeah,
that's awesome. So I might have to
thanks, man.
maybe reach out to you later and get some pointers. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
Got a few things, but not too great. All right, so let's get into. I mean, gaming. What was
Yeah.
your first gaming experience? Now, was it like consoles, PC, arcades? How did you start out, and what age roughly were you?
It was console, man. I was about 5 years old. Like the memory that I have the most is because I lived with my grandma for a bit. and it was playing on an NES, playing Duck Hunt or Super Mario. Um, and yeah, 5 years old, man, was when I started gaming, and like I never stopped since then, man. Like especially playing Duck Hunt, man, with my little brother. Oh, it was a blast, you know. And there's just a plethora of different types of games. Really fell in love with like Battletoads.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many good gems out there for the regular Nintendo. So yeah, and then so I was about 5 at the time, and that's like 91, and then a little bit after that, the Super Nintendo came out. Um, and I was always lucky enough, like my mother worked her ass off to provide me and my siblings with like the latest console. Um, so we always had any system that came out. She just knew that's what we loved. You know what I mean? Like especially playing together. Um, yeah, and the Super Nintendo was great, man. Like I have such fond memories of those old systems, man. Like a lot, even to the point where we always do emulation and stuff like that, like
Mm-hmm.
on PC for some of those older games. We still have our original Super Nintendo at my mom's house still, so we'll hop on that sometimes too.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's Mario Kart's always a blast on there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that never gets old, man. No matter what generation it is, man, Mario Kart is a banger. Period.
You say you still have your original system at your mom's. Is
Mhm.
it, mine? It started changing colors over the
Yes,
years.
mine's just
Did
like a
yours do that too?
greenish yellow kind
Yeah,
of.
it's weird, man. Everything works great.
Yep,
Just something in
yep.
that plastic and the color tint. This didn't hold up.
Yeah, I think they were still using lead paint at the time or something like that.
Great.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that's my earliest memory. And then like arcades were super cool too. I always remember playing like the X-Men
Mm.
arcade game. I was a Nightcrawler main on that, and pinballs, man. Like I think
Oh
with
man.
the arcade experience, pinball machines have
Yes.
always been my favorite. More than the arcade itself. Like you can catch me, I'm gonna get a soda and you'll catch me at the pinball machine. Like that's where I'll be at.
I'm right there with you, man. I love pinball machines. They're so
Yeah.
much fun.
I really want to get a few of them for my garage, man, but like they're so expensive, man.
They are.
Like so expensive. So yeah.
Yeah. That's cool
Yeah,
though. Like
man.
around here we have a couple of I guess vendors that what's I used to manage a video store a long time ago. And one of the things we used to do was they would bring in several different game consoles, even pool tables and things like that, into a room that we had at the video store,
Oh, cool.
and they would bring them in, they would service them, and only thing we would have to do is they come like every 2 weeks and they
Hmm.
pull out the money, and then if there was a once a month, or not once a month, excuse me, once a year, they had to pay like there was a small fee for each machine, and they had
Okay.
to dip into that to pay for that license part, to keep with the city ordinance type thing. But
Yeah.
then everything else was split down the middle. So in other words, they maintenance them, had them, and we split the revenue with them right down the
Oh,
middle.
snaps.
I know,
Okay.
and there's a lot of companies that actually still do that to this day. Those
Dang.
kind of little things where they can get the product in, because floor space, electricity, they don't got to pay for any of that. That's just
Right.
for them. It's like and they provide the machines and they're making the money, and then they can split it with the owner who has to deal with the other part. And it worked out pretty good. But yeah, we used to play the arcade machines and stuff like that like crazy. It was and it was cool because maybe not the best thing to do, but they always, of course, we had a key in case there's anytime something happened and we need to go in and give them money back or something like that, because things like that would happen.
Right.
And sometimes when after hours we'd go in and set the Street Fighter machine to free play, and we play for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Dude, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So
Man,
yeah.
that's awesome, man. Like there's speaking of like arcades and stuff like that, recently one of my friends, he had a wedding a couple years back, and we went to
Hmm.
Oklahoma City, and there is a bar that is full of arcade machines. and that was a crazy cool experience. You know what I mean? Like, you had all the
Mhm.
old school arcades there, and like it was a full-fledged bar, man. Music, dance floor, everything, but like all around. And K Mega might know it because I know he's from that area.
Mhm.
But that was, if y'all ever have a chance, I forgot the name of it. If y'all ever go to Oklahoma City, there's a bar full of arcades. It's so cool. I've never seen anything like that. I'm sure they exist everywhere, like in big cities, but yeah,
I've
it's
seen a
cool.
few over my travels and stuff. So yeah, but and most of them usually go in as like you pay a small fee and it's like unlimited play for like an hour or whatever while you're
Yeah,
there. While you after you paid your little fee, but you can play whatever you want.
yeah,
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 air
yeah.
hockey tables, everything. God, it was such a
Yeah,
blast.
this one, there was no pay for anything. It was
Oh, that's
just,
cool.
I'm sure they made enough money off of their liquor sales. So,
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
facing the Pac-Man.
For sure, man. Yeah.
Definitely. So I guess as you started to get older a little bit, and so what I guess where did your I don't say loyalties because that's not because it's some people it's just different things. Like I've talked to a lot of different people that like that's just they had Sega available, so that was their platform of choice. Other people
Okay, yeah.
had Nintendo or Sony. I mean, where did you have them all, or was it just more of a certain thing that kind of grabbed you?
Yeah, so like I was fortunate enough to be able to have every system, man. Like
Yeah,
from
same.
from the Nintendo handhelds to the Genesis to um all the Nintendos to the PlayStation. I was fortunate enough to have all of them, which kind of hurt a little bit because then you have to spread around your money to what games you're going to get for
Right.
which one, right? But like for my Nintendo Game Boys, or there was always Pokemon. For Pokemon and Zelda, for I'm a little bit weird on the PlayStation side. On the PlayStation side, I love like stuff like Ridge Racer. I think my favorite game that I played ever on PlayStation was Jade Cocoon. Have you heard of that?
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was I think my first love into gaming because I saw how innovative it was. It was a JRPG. However, it incorporated some elements with Pokemon, right? As far as
Mm.
monsters are concerned.
Hmm.
But whatever you catch or capture, you can mate them between other species and come up with a whole new monster, like to help like battle and stuff. So they had all these other, and like for that era, like PS1, PS2 era, that was crazy to me, right? And then I think Sim City too. Like I'm a big RTS turnstile, turnstile or sim gamer. So those are like the most games that I play, even to this day. Like I still haven't touched Final Fantasy, like since they changed from turn based. Um, but hopefully that comes back, man. Especially with the rise of games like Baldur's Gate, or like people do like these kind of games. You know what I mean? Like so, hopefully that comes back. Um, but I think what changed for me when I became like an Xbox guy was the original Xbox that came out when I was in college, and I remember always going. We had this thing called the student activities building, and everybody would bring their Xboxes in there, and so we would
Yeah.
LAN party up. Man, it was the craziest, coolest experience, man, to ever have. Like, and we used to throw a lot of LAN parties back at my mom's house too, where there'd be a TV and an Xbox in every room, and we are talking cash shit to oh my god,
Ooh, nice.
it was so much fun, man. We had the wires dangling everywhere, you know what I mean? So but no, that's whenever I became an Xbox guy, is because of Halo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, 100%, man. And then the
Brings a lot of people
360 era.
to the yard, as it were.
Yes, yes. So just their capabilities too, with like whenever the 360 came out and it had Xbox Live, pay people online. I know Dreamcast tried it, right? And I remember trying to play 2K online, but we all still had dial-up internet at the time. So it was
Hmm.
rough, man. Like it was so rough, but You know, when they came out with the 360, man, that was a game changer too. And just the graphical fidelity it had too at the time. Oh, I kind of miss those days, man.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. It's like Pong Soul would always say, it was like the golden age of gaming. You know, it was just, you know, we pretty much grew up at a really good time for all this kind
Yes.
of stuff to happen and to live it. I mean, obviously, there's new gamers, you know, born every day. But
Yes.
and sometimes they look at the gaming and they're like, you know, oh, what is this pixelated? I'm like, if it wasn't for this, you wouldn't have this. You know, you
Yes.
just gotta
100%.
remember that, man. Gotta remember where it all came from. So,
Yes.
so
Facts.
yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, sometimes I try to go back to the nostalgia age and try to, you know, boot up like my old systems and stuff.
Hmm.
I think I need to buy like a good in use like old TV, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the newer TVs show all the pixels and stuff like that, so it doesn't look nearly as good as it used to, right? But like the older TVs are still, I mean, what are they, 480 or something like that?
Yeah,
You know what I
CRT
mean?
TV, yeah.
Yeah.
Big old
Um,
tubes. Yep.
so they'll still look like mad good. You know, I might actually do that probably over the next couple weekends, is try to
There you go.
find an old TV and do that. Those were good times, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, so a few pawn shops still have that kind of stuff. And if you get lucky, you can actually find some, you know, some of the ones that are, you know, still really up and running. I remember like one time I had a 31-inch
Yeah.
tube TV and it was like, wow, this is crazy. And it weighs 800 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I had to help my grandma get her TV in one time. It was massive.
Mhm.
Probably wasn't as bad. Like, it was a TV on wheels. You remember those?
Yes.
How big?
Oh,
yes. Yeah. So that was,
yeah.
yeah, those were crazy, man. We came a long way, man. A
Oh,
long,
DLP
long
projection
way.
TVs that were just massive and like, oh yeah, we got to get to the second floor. And the delivery guy's like, I'm not.
Yeah, not happening.
This is going
Not
in the living
happening.
room. What? Yeah, as far as I'm taking it. Too funny.
Yeah, man, those are some good times, man. And that was a different era back then too, man, because like
Mhm.
I still miss to this day going into GameStop for midnight releases, or really anywhere for a midnight release. You know, I got my 360 on a midnight release. That was hella fun and hectic. It was crazy.
Mhm.
And just like Hollywood Video and Blockbuster, like actually going in those stores and seeing all the different games laid out and getting recommendations from, you know, the people that work there and stuff. I miss those days. Now I get it. Like, you got your digital storefronts and you can look at reviews, but it was just something about going into those stores, man, that I miss. And that's not just for video games, but for movies as well too. You know what I mean? Like, you said you worked at a video shop, right?
I
Or was
did.
it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
It was a local mom and pop type place, but yeah, and we worked in that, and then worked for GameStop as a manager for 12 years. So yeah.
okay. Yeah. I really, really, really missed it. What about you, man? You missed those times too? A little bit?
You know, there's some things about it that was kind of cool, and like when we'd have like the yearly managers convention,
Yeah.
that was cool because that was basically like a mini E3 every year, and of course all the companies, you know, they'd give us systems and games and just tons of stuff, you know, really cool
Yeah.
stuff. That was kind of neat. The only thing I didn't like about being a store manager was I don't know, the whole week, or excuse me, a month or two before Christmas, where you had to work, you know, 60-hour work weeks and you were on
Yes.
salary. And, you know,
Yeah.
there was twice that I had to do a 24-hour shift on Black Friday. Twice.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. You talk about one tired MF after it was done. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I feel
yeah, I like
for you
banker's
on
hours a
that,
lot
man.
better.
Yeah. For sure, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I've been an Xbox dude ever since, man. I've owned every PlayStation 2 as well. Um it's just, I don't know, man. It's just something about the Xbox just feels different to me, you know?
Hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Especially with the current ecosystem now, man, with the Game Pass and all that.
Listen,
They're
you can't,
they're on fire right now.
anytime people, you know, brings up like Game Pass is not it. I'm like, you have got to be out of your mind. $17 a month for all this day and date games, and then they're just going to steamroll this year. I mean, they already had a good year this year. Next year is going to be crazy good. Just out of all the games that we know that's coming so far for 2024, between Towerborn, Hellblade, Avowed. One of my most anticipated games is Flight Sim 2024. So I play PC, I play on that like for PC with all the peripherals and all that for that. And then it's just a Stalker 2. And then we don't even know, like they shadow drop Remnant too, like this year. They shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush. Like it's sky's the limit for that subscription service, man. It's too good,
And could this be the year that Call of Duty day and date drops?
I think so, man.
Think so too.
So it's gonna be this is gonna be a game changer for real. And just even if they don't put the newest installment in there, I still think it's a game changer. The fact that all the backwards compatibility of all the Call of Duties being on there. I mean, everybody from the ages of 30 and up are going to subscribe to Game Pass just for that nostalgia. And then not only that, but all the Crash games. You got Spyro, you got Prototype 3. The kids love Skylander. You know what I mean? You have all those games that could possibly come, and I'm really interested to see what they do with WoW. I know they had the new update for the controllers to where you can customize the keybinds and stuff to match the keyboard. So I think they're prepping for it, man. I think they want to bring it to console.
I think they could for sure.
How they
do even if they just get some bonus items to start in PC Game Pass,
yes,
or PC Ultimate, again Game Pass Ultimate, and then you just maybe like so much a month you get certain mounts or certain like that just for being signed up to it. People would just go nuts.
Yeah, or I know everything within Riot has all the free to play games like Valorant or League of Legends or whatever. Even if they do something similar to that, but roll in your WoW subscription in the Game Pass, do you know how many subscribers you'd have? And they'll dabble into all your other games if they're having art. Listen, the Sky, I don't know what avenue they'll go, but I'm sure they'll make the correct financial decision on whatever they do. But it's going to be good for Game Pass subscribers, man. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and good for gaming all over, man. I really think it's the, and Phil, people laughed at him, but I really think he's, when he said he wanted, 9 billion, players in Game Pass, he wasn't kidding.
He wasn't, especially once that mobile front happens, man. It's Candy Crush is a crazy IP to have, and add that with Minecraft as well.
Yeah, just imagine if they bundled that into, like, rolled it into Game Pass Ultimate.
Yes.
Where you had all that cloud, mobile, or somebody's on mobile and it's like, hey, you know what? Mobile by itself, $5.
Right.
Dude.
100%. I don't mean to go on a tangent here, but like the reason why I'm such a huge proponent of Game Pass, like through those leaks, we saw these budgets of these games, right? And when Game Pass whenever you have somebody who is not the market leader do better and take market share away, it forces the other players to do better by their customers as well. And that's all we want, man. Like whatever they do, whatever Microsoft does to take market share away from the market leader will force the market leader to become better. And then that in turn forces Microsoft to do better. So like we as consumers win on all fronts, period.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of like, NVIDIA, they were getting really crazy with their prices and their patches for their graphic cards. And then AMD showed up and was like, hey, we about half the cost and run just as good. You know what I mean? And it forced NVIDIA to do better. They could do still a little bit better, but yeah, it's the same thing. It works in every industry.
It does. It
Yep.
does. And I'm just, and I guess go down the path, but we're gonna get there anyway. So like with the, and some of the, I mean, like I said, I have all the systems. You have probably all the systems or
Mhm.
close to it, and it's like, or current systems should say, it's like, gaming is gaming. I consider myself a gamer.
Right.
Yes, I prefer the Xbox ecosystem, but I
Mhm.
still have a PlayStation. We
Yep.
have a PC, and we'll dabble, in different places and play different games, and that's just the way it is. But for the ones that are so console worry, die hard, PlayStation is it, everything else is garbage, are missing the boat so much. They just do not get how they're hurting themselves
Right.
by trying to build Sony, and Sony's hurting. There's just, to me, in
Yeah.
my opinion, there's just no doubt about it, and they can see it, but they don't want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not an opinion at this point. I mean, we saw their no, really, like
Yeah, you're right.
we saw the leaks, we saw behind the curtain of like what they're thinking, what the threats are, what they need to change to do better, kind of what their strategies are with. And I would be in an uproar if I found out that my next Halo single player experience is going to be cut into 3 parts and charge me the same as what you did for Halo Infinite. I would be super upset. And I'll
Oh
be
yeah.
very vocal about it, right? But like you see everybody online that, is with Sony, and they see that 3-part thing, and it seems like they don't care. I was like, guys, like y'all demand better from them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of reasons why probably they can't, right? But the shareholders will demand better from them, especially after these next quarterly profits come out from after the ABK deal closed. They see that Microsoft is more profitable than PlayStation, right? Due to their revenue streams, right? You have things like Call of Duty, things like Minecraft, that are on everything, and they're getting a boatload of money from that to where they can fund things in Game Pass, like your Fables, like your Hellblades. You know what I mean? And I made my prediction yesterday on my show that I believe that PlayStation will open up their own client on PC starting next year. Sometime next year, they'll have their own client, day and date PC, because their shareholders are going to want that. The shareholders don't care about, exclusivity. They care about getting their money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think, and that's the thing about like Xbox fans too, is when we see something that's going down the wrong path, or something that's not good, like let's say Redfall, for example. I know some people had fun with that, but we were upset and we were pretty vocal about it. You know what I mean? But you don't see the same, like everything Sony puts out, they gobble it up, and they're just like, nope, this is good, this is premium, this is quality. It's like, guys, come on, man, demand better from your preferred console.
Exactly.
100%.
I'm right there with you. I tell you,
Yeah.
the fanboys that push, and that's their big narrative right now. It seems like the only thing they seem to think that they have is the console sales. It's like, do you know how much they make per console sold?
Well, at the beginning, they lose money, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then when you have the issue to where only casuals are playing on your console, right? Well, there's nothing wrong with casuals. We've all kind of been there probably, right? But they only play one type of game. You know what I mean? Generally, like I call it the 4 horsemen. It's the COD, the FIFA, the 2K, the Madden. I mean, those are the majority of the game, and they're always in the top 5. When they come out of the games, the Fortnites.
Yeah.
And then PlayStation's only getting 30% from that, right? And then they have the other pillar with PlayStation Plus. But when we saw through the leaked documents, 30 out of like, I think close to 40 million PlayStation Plus subscribers, 32 million are in the bottom tier, right? And that's just so you can play online. Like they're offering nothing of substantial value when it comes to their upper two tiers, especially the top tier. Like, okay, I get to play like super old games I probably already played. I mean, like, okay, you know, with Xbox, you have Ultimate, you could play. So I have a ROG Ally, my PC, my Samsung TV, my Xbox Series S, my X, and I can play all my games from Game Pass across the board on all of them. And that's just the avenue they're gonna have to go that route sooner or later. They might do it kicking and screaming, but the shareholders are gonna want it.
And that's the bottom line. That's what they really answer to. It's not the fanboys.
No.
It's the they got to follow the money.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a shame that they've built this narrative combating Game Pass and games going to PC and stuff like that, because when it happens, like, we all have the receipts, man. What you
yes,
said.
we do.
What you said. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Truly is. Truly. So let's turn just a little bit, and when we get back to some more gaming stuff here. So I guess obviously you have a podcast, and the link is in the description below. But I guess what influence did you have? What made you, obviously you listened for a while. Who'd you listen to, and then what made you want to make the jump to get into podcasting?
So I think the first two people before I even like got on Twitter or anything like that was Randle Thor. I used to listen to him on Spotify, like at work, all the time with him and Jez. And Destin, whenever he had his own show, because I used to watch the IGN, God, what's that show called? The Xbox one. Ryan. I used to watch that really heavily, and then Destin came out with his own, because I've always liked Destin. I still like Destin. You know what I mean? So he had his own show, and I was like, all right, bet. Like, while I'm cleaning the house, I'll put him on, put in my Bose headphones, and get to work. So those two were the main ones. Once I started getting on Twitter and I saw all you guys doing it, like I saw you doing it, I saw Gaz from Game On Daily, Dirt, God, who are some other big ones? Colt Eastwood. Oh God, there's one more really big. Yeah, Level One. David, him. Yikes! I think that's almost about it, man. I'm sure there's more, man. I subscribe to like so many cats and just watch them do their shows. Oh, Fun Speculation too.
Yeah.
Watch them. So it was really cool seeing everybody's takes, and I was like, damn, like the nuances of the gaming industry. Like, most of the time, people that aren't on Twitter, like, we're the 1%ers, right? 1-2%ers that like really, really follow this stuff. But for me, it was like whatever news Rand gave me or Destin gave me, or I saw pop up on my Facebook feed was the only news I received. But like, come to find out, once you're on Twitter or whatever, or Reddit even, like, there's news daily. And it's not just like the games, it's like the studios, it's the developers, it's the corporations that are involved. There's so much that you could cover. And so I see why everybody does weekly shows. I mean, hell, Boom does shows. That's another one. Boom does the show every day, and he still has a bunch to talk about. You know what I mean? So I found that like super interesting. And me and my brother and my friend Robert, who I've known since elementary school, like whenever we're together online, that's all we talk about anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah, you guys have been my biggest influencers for starting the show, man. Like, and me just learning the cadence of y'all's shows, what you guys talk about, the comedy within it, really helped me a lot and gave me confidence. So I was like, you know what, I could do this shit, man.
Well, you're doing a really good job. And I'm not just, blowing smoke, man. I mean, some people can do it, some people can't, and some people try, and you're like, okay, keep going. But but I mean, you to me, you've already settled into a rhythm, and I think you're just going to do nothing but get better. So I
I
guess too,
appreciate that.
also the first show you were on with us that we had
Yeah.
you on, and then you had Randle Thor9 as a
I know,
as a
man. You threw
co-guest. I knew you were a little geeking
listen,
a little bit, huh?
listen, yes. Man, when I found that out, man, I had to go outside and smoke a cigarette, man. Like I was like into the fire my first week, man. Like
But he's super nice
but
guy though, man.
no,
He's down
he
to
is,
earth.
man. He
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and his
The man with the million.
oh yeah, there you
That's
go.
right, man. Yeah, it was really surreal, I guess, because he was like the first person that I actually listened to, like an
Mhm.
Xbox centric channel. And it was just really surreal, like to sit down and have a conversation like between all you guys, man. That was crazy.
Well,
Yeah.
like I said, you held your own, you carried your own weight. You wasn't like nobody carried you. You did a great job, and like I said, and the best thing about that I feel since you were on there with him is that you got to know that Rand is who you think he is. He's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
He's a real guy, super nice, and
Yeah.
and loves playing games, and
Yeah,
he'll
that was
talk
cool,
to you
man.
one on one. That was
Yeah, that was cool,
genuine.
especially like in the green room after the episode, just chatting
Mhm.
up, man. That shit was cool, man. It was really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
was cool.
appreciate y'all for inviting me on.
Oh,
For
worked
that,
out a good
for
timing,
real.
man. Yeah, because
Yeah.
sometimes Rand is, it's kind of hard to get. We try and get him on a couple times a year if we can.
Yeah.
So and just one of those things. So and he's gracious enough to give us some time, and he has fun. You can tell, or
Yeah.
he wouldn't come back. He wouldn't do it if he didn't have fun. So
Right. Yeah, it's always good hearing because like that's what he does. You know what I mean? Like and he has like industry connections
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So it's always cool to hear his insights on stuff. I'm trying to get on that level. I need some devs to come holler at me, you know.
Hey, you'll get there. You'll get there. I'll tell you. And what was it? The key mailer is what website you need to actually, if you haven't signed up for that already. I'll get you that info
Okay,
in a little
cool.
bit. That's where you can actually get started and get review copies of a lot of different things. And you may start off with some things that aren't great, but
Yeah.
if you get and start building your, and maybe doing a little review here and there about some of the games, then they're going to see that you're serious, and then you'll start getting some more better things.
Right. So yeah, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Like I didn't know about Keymailer. Like I would love to get put onto that. But we are actually next year going to start doing. I think we have to come to a consensus because that's one thing why we really wanted to start it is because how these reviews are done for a lot of like media heads seem very not thorough, I
Right.
guess. So me, Supernova, and Black Skeleton want to pick one game for the month to purchase and play and review after we've almost beat the game, depending on the game, right?
Nice.
And we have like a whole, it's like it's a 5-point checklist of criteria that needs to be met for game reviews, and then but we'll mash them all together and come up with like a complete review opposed to just I played this game, I don't like this, I'll give it a 7. Like I don't want to do that. I want to, because like there's some games that are really good at the art style, really good with the sound, gameplay mechanics are okay, story is good, but like those games would get like a 6 because the author didn't like the gameplay mechanics. I think that's very shallow for some reviewers that on how they review games. So like we want to do it the right way and be very transparent on how we do it. So but yeah, I would love to start getting review codes and getting into the nitty gritty about that. Yeah, that's cool.
I think you can do it, man. Like I said, it's just I'll get you that link here in a little bit, but it's just a matter of setting up and getting the information, and then they look at it, and then a few days they get back to you, and then you just kind of start from there. So it's pretty cool. Like I said, it's and not only that, but there's also some of the big media sites, including Sony and Xbox. You just have to go to their corporate websites and start digging through about, going through who
Yeah.
I want to do game reviews of your products. Who do I need to speak to? And then eventually
Right.
somebody will reply back and get you on the right path. And, so, but
No,
it
that'd
can
be
be
cool.
done. You just might have to work at it a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm
Yeah.
all about doing the work.
I was
So,
gonna say, I think you'll be going to put in the work for sure.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, so let's talk about some of your influences. But so, how did the show come about? How did you get your crew together? What did what was that like? Your first couple episodes and
Yeah, so I had a different path. I had a different strategy in mind opposed to going online because I've always wanted to either like stream games or have a podcast,
Mhm.
gaming related. But sometimes some of those things, especially like streaming, like gaming, um, it can be a little oversaturated at times. So like you'll do your videos and try to get your friends to sign up and they fall off, so you'll end up with like 20 videos with 10 views. And like that seemed, I had to go a different route. So once I found gaming Twitter, I was like, okay, like I think once I started getting to like about 1,000 followers, I was like, okay, like I really want to start a show. But I was still in Norway at the time, so I was like, I can't start one now because I'm about to move, because I moved to like in September. But I think once I get to about 2,300 followers and make some really good connections, I'll go ahead and start a show, right? Because then I'm known somewhere that I can
Mhm.
pull from, and then bring them to the show. So I got with my friend Rob and my brother, and I was like, hey, like if I start a show, would you guys be down to talk game? And they were like, shit, we do that already almost every day. So yeah, we can get on camera and do it.
Nice.
So, and then like the chemistry is already there because we've known each other forever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, and anytime that we're together, man, we just crack up laughing and like make silly jokes all the time. So, and you guys will see that throughout the episodes that we do. Like we cut up like quite a bit. And it's all fun. Like 2 hours feels like 30 minutes with those guys,
Mhm.
um so they were all on board. So I wanted to do it right, and I was like, first impressions are everything, so we have to make sure our logo looks legit. We got to make sure I know what I'm doing with the best. I didn't know, I wanted to go OBS. I think see Money was like, yo, StreamYard is where you want to go, like use that. It's the easiest one to use, and you can make it really fancy. And I was like, all right, cool. So I watched tons of videos on how to use StreamYard. And I went to school for graphical design as well, so and marketing, so I kind of know like what's appealing to people as far as color palettes or just the marketing aspect of all of it. So I wanted to make sure all that was right before the first episode. Um, then my friend Rob I think we scheduled like December 5th was going to be our first episode. And then he was about to go into surgery. So I was like, shit, like me and my brother can hold a conversation, but it'd be nice to have a third or a fourth,
Right.
right? So I hit up Retri, and Retri was completely down for it. And then Fuzzy. And we had an amazing first episode, man. It was so good. And let me tell you how nervous I was for that. But knowing that I have to push that live button, and then my face is going to be out there, I was like, all the stupid shit that I say is going to be clipped to oblivion.
Could
Like,
be.
oh my gosh, man, I felt like I was about to play another high school basketball game in front of like a super large crowd. I still somewhat feel that way sometimes. It's diminished a little bit, but as the channel grows, like I know I'll probably still like the more eyes that are on it, probably the little bit more nervous I'll be. But yeah, it kind of washes away once those first 5 minutes kick in and we start talking, and then it's good, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
like I said, you're doing a great job, and you're starting to, you've had what, 7 episodes now, I think, under your belt or
7,
so.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So see, I pay attention.
Yeah.
So it's you know, like I said, and it's only going to get better as you get more of
Yeah,
your rhythm, and you get to, and every now and again you may experiment with different things, try different things, get different guests
right.
on, or just go with the core. You know, either way
No,
you
we
go
want
with
to.
it, it's going to be fun.
We 100% want to get more people on because we want to get used to, especially like the interviews like that you do too. Like we want to
Hmm.
get like voice actors on like for certain
Yeah.
episodes and start talking to them. Or even developers from smaller studios. I'm all about like indie developers and
Hmm.
giving them their shine because they don't have all the resources some of these big
Right.
AAA companies, so they really have to grind at it to get their game out there, publicized, and I want to give them those flowers, man,
Yeah.
for bringing something that they create to us to enjoy. I really want to start doing stuff like that, but all I can say, man, about starting this show is like the support from this freaking community has been stupid. Like it's been
Hmm.
so good, man. Like from you to Boom to Dirt to like everybody who like just shares the stuff, man. Like or called me before I even had a show, like, hey, you want to be on? Blah 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 blah. Level 1 was like that.
Hmm.
You guys were like Retry was like, you say you're gonna start a channel, like I need you on ASAP as soon as you start. And I was like, yeah, man. So the support that I've received, man, from you guys has been unmatched. And I know for a fact I'll pay it forward. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, like I said, you're a good dude, and we appreciate your hard work and effort that you're putting in. And like I said, I just have this feeling that give yourself a year or so, and you're gonna be up there. We're
That'd
gonna
be
be looking
cool,
over his
man.
shoulder because you're
Yeah.
coming up in the rearview mirror. I'm
Nah,
just saying. Oh, you
never,
never know.
man.
Gotta
It's been
have goals, man. Gotta
it,
have goals.
it has been my goal was to reach 500 subs by mid-February because I tally like
Tick,
people's
knock that off.
progress.
Uh huh.
Yeah, man, it's like I'm already at like 485 or something like that. Like
So
it's
5,000 is your new goal. Excellent.
yeah, I think 5,000 before the end of the year would be really good, man. So I can't wait till we can start monetizing the channel. And it's not
Hmm.
for us. I think we already came to an agreement that what we're going to do is start a huge fundraiser from January all the way to December,
Nice.
um, so that we can give Xbox Series a mix between Series S and X, and Game Pass subscriptions to the Boys and Girls Club. Like, not just
Nice.
there, but also just a huge giveaway. And I've been in
Hmm.
contact with Aaron Greenberg as
Hmm.
well, to see like what kind of deals we can get if we raise like 10 grand or something like that for the end of the year. Um, so that's what we want to do. We want to do a huge, huge, huge giveaway for our first anniversary
Very cool.
of the Longhouse podcast.
Tell you something else to keep in your back of your mind is that sometimes the local hospitals and things like that will have
Yeah,
like a children's section, and sometimes the kids are may have to be in there a couple of months, couple of
right.
weeks, and if they have something that's
That will be
familiar, or they can they can go into the usually like a group room type thing where the kids can play with
right.
each other even though they can't come home yet because of whatever. Just thoughts like that.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
that
you're on
would
the
be
right
cool.
track.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, that would be super cool. Yeah.
very
So
cool.
yeah, our first year is not for ourselves, man. Our first year, or for our camera upgrades or anything like that. Our first
Hmm.
year is strictly going to be to give back, like to the
That's awesome.
community plus our local community here too. So
Fantastic. Well, you got a good heart and you got the right vision. So we definitely want to.
thanks.
So if you don't mind, go ahead and as we wrap things up, tell everybody where they can reach you, where they can find you, and where they'll be able to find you at on X and
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah. So I'm on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the Black Viking 3. I'm usually on there being a little slanderous, but that's what I do. My podcast, however, the Longhouse Gaming Podcast on YouTube, um, is a little less more so. Like I'm the only Xbox centric person that's on the channel. Both of my co-hosts, Supernova and Black Skeleton, I mean, they're just gamers. They just play where the games are at. I don't think PC is their preferred choice. So they toned me down quite a bit on there. Unless somebody comes in the chat acting crazy, then I'll give it to them. But yeah, we have a good time, man. We talk about all the gaming news that's happening, what we've enjoyed playing. We're gonna start doing reviews next year, or this is gonna air.
Yeah,
on
this
the
will
year.
air on the January 1st, so next
Yeah.
year.
So next year, yeah. So starting this year, yeah, we'll be
There
doing
you go.
we'll be doing game reviews, and try to have more people on from other Xbox channels or PlayStation channels, and try to get some voice actors on, man, by mid to late year. So that'll be really cool, man. And I hope y'all can follow along on the journey. And we love to give back. We just gave away some Game Pass redemption codes, and we got a donation from Stoneblade to give out
Nice.
Dead Space definitive edition. So
Very cool.
Gave that out, man. So we're all about giving over there, man. We just
That's
want
awesome.
to spread the joy of gaming to everybody. Kind of like Game Pass, you know what I mean?
I love it. All about the Game Pass. I love it. I love it, man. Black Viking, there is one last question I want to ask you. Kind of throw this at everybody, and you can give me more than one answer. I'll just tell you that right now. So, what is your most anticipated game coming out that's not been released yet, but it's something that everybody already knows about? We know that it's coming. We may not necessarily have a release date, but what is that game to you?
Shucks.
I know it can be more than one. That's all right.
Okay. So the game I'm probably going to put the most hours in is Flight Sim 2024.
Nice.
Right. I think my most anticipated, because I want to see how they cooking over there at the Coalition. Gear 6. I want to see how that game looks on, because Hive Busters looked crazy good, right? But if they tap into the power of the Series X, and they're masters at Unreal Engine, I want to see what that game looks like. So I got that, and Hellblade, man. I can't wait to get my hands on Hellblade.
Yeah,
100%. And my final one is Blade. I can't Arcane's going to do some crazy stuff with that, man. I cannot wait to see how their art style has evolved. Because it's already a dope art style. I just can't wait to see how it evolves with next gen technology. So yeah,
that Xbox exclusive Blade.
Yes. Don't get it twisted out here.
Don't get it twisted. Exactly. Some people port begging, but
yeah.
So get an Xbox. That's it. That's what I tell you. Get on Game Pass.
Get on Game Pass. We don't care where you go. Go to PC.
There you go. There you go. Black Viking, thank you so much for being here today, man. It's been a pleasure getting to know you better, man. And again, thank you so much. And in the description below is going to have the link, obviously, as well to your X page and to your YouTube channel. And I ask that the audience, if you're listening, make sure you click that, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so that you don't miss a single episode of the Black Vikings show, which is pretty awesome, man. I tell you, you guys,
thank you, man.
You're gonna enjoy it, man. I enjoy it. So, thank you so much for being here, sir, and thank you everybody for joining us here at Outbreak Gamers.
Game over.